If you're looking to become a first-time home buyer, it looks like the odds are stacked against you. Prices of homes have risen, interest rates are going up, and there's just uneasiness about the economy overall. But in this video, I'm gonna show you how you can buy your first property in this high interest rate environment in 2023 and put yourself ahead of your friends and family financially by doing so. Let's do it. What's up, guys? Real quick, if you haven't joined my free Facebook group, Residential Real Estate with Jaron Sustar, yet, you need to scroll down to the show notes of this episode, click the link to the Facebook group. It's completely free, fantastic place to network and collaborate with other residential real estate investors all across the country so that you can continue to grow your real estate portfolio. If you're tired of spending hours every day analyzing potential investment properties, listen up, because I'm about to remove that roadblock for you by introducing you to the Backflip app. Not only does Backflip give you the ability to quickly analyze any property and at any time, it also allows you to apply for a loan with them directly through their app, which allows you to scale your business and do more profitable deals. It's a great tool because it instantly pulls all the data you need for a property, like the after repair value and the as-is value. Plus, it gives you a curated list of high quality comps, and it's going to do that for you 60 times faster than if you were to go and do it by yourself by searching through the MLS or Zillow. So it's going to literally save you hours upon hours of work. And not only that, but the app will help you determine which strategy is the best fit for each particular property. So should you fix and flip it for a profit, or should you rehab it and rent it out? And so you'll immediately know if this particular property fits into your portfolio or if you should just move on to another deal. With Backflip, you're now going to be able to jump on good investments quickly and with confidence. So go down to the show notes of this show, click on the Backflip link, download the app, start analyzing your deals today, and work with Backflip to fund the next deal you do. Man, what a year 2023's been. We're coming off the heels of the COVID nonsense and all of the things we've been battling the last few years. Inflation's ridiculously high, which is causing interest rates to be high. Home values rose a ton from 2020 until today. They are starting to drop a little bit. Home sales are starting to slow down compared to where they have been. Some people are going back in the office to work. Some aren't. There's talks about new variants of COVID in Richmond, north of Richmond, wanting us to put masks on again. It's just wild. It's crazy. All this stuff's going on, and you're just saying, bro, I want to buy my first house. But how in the world can I buy my first house when interest rates are so high, home values have risen so much, and we're in this kind of rocky economy where we're not sure what's going to happen from day to day? I'm going to show you exactly how. Now, most people, when they go to buy their first home, they look to just buy a property where they can put maybe 3.5% down with an FHA payment. They can maybe do 5% down payment with a conventional loan. Some people will put 20% down, whatever. They'll get into the property however they can get into it. But then they are the only people that live there. They live there by themselves, or they live there with their family. And so their housing becomes a very expensive bill in their everyday life. And right now, that's what's keeping a lot of millennials and Gen Zers and first-time home buyers from being able to buy, because it's so expensive to get into homes because of the price of the homes and the price of debt because of the interest rates. But what if I told you there is a hack that you can do to go ahead and get your first home today while somebody else pays for it? See, in the real estate world, we actually call this a hack. We call this house hacking. And I'm going to break down the details for you, but in a broad sense, house hacking is just where you buy a home, a place to live. You live there, but then you rent out the other rooms if it's a single family home, or if it's a multifamily home, you rent out the other units. This is one of the, if not the best ways to get into real estate investing. But not only is it a best way to get into real estate investing, in 2023, in the environment we're in, it's the best way to get into home ownership. So you actually can house hack and kill two birds with one stone. You can buy your first dwelling, the first property that you own to live in, but then you can also become a landlord and dabble in the real estate investment space. Now, before I go any farther, there's those of you sitting here saying, I don't want a roommate, I don't want to do that. Well, that's fine. You can keep renting, throw money away every month, while the others who say, you know what, I will pay now. I will sacrifice a little bit of my comfort now so that I can play later, so that I can have the dream life I want later. Is it always comfortable to live with somebody else or have somebody else living on your property? Heck no. But if you will do it, it will give you a head start financially because you're going to be able to acquire a property that somebody else is going to be paying the mortgage for you while you continue to live there. So let's break down how to execute the house hacking strategy. So if we are buying a primary home, okay, a home that we're going to live in, we have very favorable loan products. The banks love loaning to first-time home buyers, and they allow you to do it with very little money down. So if you're a first-time home buyer, you can get an FHA loan, which is as little as 3.5% down, or you can do a first-time home buyer conventional loan, which is only going to require you to put 5% down. Now, there's some of you listening to this who haven't bought a home yet who have been in the military. They're currently in the military, or you were previously in the military. You can use a VA loan and put 0% down. This is the best way for you to get into real estate, hands down. And so what we're going to do is we're going to find a property, either a single family home, a duplex, a triplex, or a quadplex. Why only up to a quadplex? Well, banks consider a single family home up to a quadplex residential homes. If you go above a quadplex, the bank then considers that commercial. So we need to stay quadplex or less. The more units that you can get with this first home purchase, I think the better. If you just buy a single family home, is that okay? 100%. But if you can get a triplex, duplex, quadplex, that is going to be huge. Plus, when you buy a multifamily home, and then you rent it out, you're not having to live in the same actual dwelling as if you were buying a single family home. If you buy a single family home and house hack it, where you live in one room and you rent out the other 2 rooms, you're going to be in the same home as somebody else. Whereas if you buy a triplex, you're going to live in one unit, but then you're going to rent the other 2 units out. And so while you'll still have tenants on your property, you're not sharing the same actual living space. Now, some of you are like, bro, I don't care. Let's share the living space. We'll live it up. Cool. Bring your friends in, bring strangers in, whatever you want to do. You live in one room and rent out the others. But some of you, if you got a family, you're just kind of standoffish, you want your space, this can still be done through multifamily. So we're going to go and we're going to put a small down payment down, 3.5%. 5%. We're going to acquire the property. You're going to move in, and then we're either going to rent out the other units if it's a multifamily or the other rooms to family, friends, coworkers, or you can go and you can market it for rent on places like Zillow, Realtor.com, or we can get fancy and instead of renting out to a long-term tenant, which a long-term tenant is just somebody who's going to live at a place long-term, we could do what's called midterm rentals, or we could do short-term rentals, okay? So midterm rentals are where you're going to rent out the extra rooms you have or the extra units you have to a tenant for around 90 days. Now, give or take, it could be a little bit shorter, it could be a little bit longer, but it's somebody who's not coming in as a long-term tenant, but it's also not somebody who's just coming in as a short-term tenant for like a week like you would for vacation. These tend to be great tenants because a lot of times they're traveling nurses or contractors who are coming to do a job, just need a place to stay, and they tend to take care of it. And they come in for 3 months. They pay a premium compared to a long-term tenant. They're out. The turnover's easy. They're low maintenance. Then you get the next one in, and you keep it moving. Now, same thing with short-term rental. Short-term rental, you're going to have more turnover, so it's going to be a little bit more of a headache. You're going to have people coming in, probably a little more wear and tear on your place, but you're going to be able to charge a premium for people who want to come in and stay at your place for a short amount of time. Now, if you're going to do short-term rental, you're going to probably need to be in a desirable place where people are actually wanting to come visit, such as a tourist area or a vacation destination. And if you're going to do a midterm rental, you're going to need to own where people are coming in to do, call it contract work. A lot of the midterm rental space is leased out to traveling nurses. So if you're near a hospital, you can absolutely crush this strategy. But if you don't have midterm or short term to play with, which they're fantastic because you're going to be able to get more rent, you can just go the traditional long-term route where you get tenants in there that are going to stay 6 months to a year. So what does this look like financially for you? So let's just pretend you've bought a triplex and your mortgage on this triplex is $2,000 a month, just for easy math. Now, if you have bought a home and just lived in it by yourself, you're going to have to cover that $2,000 a month every month out of your own pocket. But because you've decided to house hack, you've got a tenant in one of the units paying $1,000 a month, and then you've got another tenant in the other unit paying $1,000 a month. And so you've got rent coming in, that's $2,000 a month, and your mortgage is $2,000 a month. And so you've just bought these 3 units, you're living in one, you have tenants in 2, and those tenants in 2 are paying your entire mortgage every month. So now you've just bought this home, you're living in this fantastic place, you're not renting anymore. Not only are you not having to pay rent anymore, but now you're literally living for free because somebody else is paying your expense for you. It's crazy. That's why they call it house hacking, because it's a literal hack in the system that you can go and put very little money down to own a piece of real estate, and then somebody else come in and pay it all for you. That's what guys like myself do in the rental space all the time. Now, I'm not house hacking my way there anymore, but I buy these properties, tenants move in, and they cover all of my expenses plus extra every month. It's crazy. And so you can get to the house hacking space and do the exact same thing. Well, you may be saying, well, what if you can't cover your mortgage? Okay, what if you can't cover your mortgage completely with your tenants? What if you had a triplex, your mortgage is $2,000 a month, but each unit's only renting for $500 a piece. And so now you only are getting $1,000 a month in rent, but your mortgage is $2,000. Great. You're literally covering half of your mortgage through your tenants. And so you would have had to pay $24,000 a year in a mortgage payment, but because you've rented those out, now you're only having to pay $12,000 a year. So now you've got $12,000 extra in your bank account. Somebody else is paying off half of your mortgage. You're learning how to be a property manager and how to own investment real estate. Although you're living there, it's also an investment, and you just increase your cash on cash returns substantially. And you've put yourself in a position to be able to own now instead of having to rent like you were previously doing. Because I don't know where else you can rent in this country and only have to pay $1,000 a month. But you can buy your own home, somebody else live there, and only have to pay $1,000 a month. And you're gaining equity every time you write that check to the bank. So listen, guys and gals, if you've been sitting on the sideline and not buying a house because you've just felt like you can't, it's just too expensive, the interest rates are too high, the home prices are too high, I've just given you a strategy to go implement right now. You need to get on the phone, turn this video off after liking and subscribing to it, of course, and then call a realtor and get them to start sending you leads. Go start looking at houses. Go start looking at duplexes, triplexes, quadplexes. Lock one up. Come up with the 3.5% down or the 5% down you need to buy the property. Get it locked up. Close on it. Get it ready to rock and roll. Bring renters in. Let them pay for this house for you, and it'll set you on a journey that will completely change your life. Guys, I'll see you next episode. Make sure you like this video. Click the subscribe button. Thanks for joining. I'll see you soon.